Hi, my name is Kingston Namun and welcome to Lopoki Inc. Stories. One of Papua New Guinea's distinguished poets, short story writer and scholar, Dr. Stephen Edmond Winduwo explained that creative literature or PNG literature emerged in the 1960s, the same decade when Papua New Guineans began to take up higher education. Since then, a myriad of poems, short stories, and plays have been written by many Papua New Guineans. Today, there are many challenges in developing this craft, but Papua New Guineans, without doubt, have shown that they are capable of developing a national literature of their own. Today, we look at an aspiring young writer in his efforts to highlight sorcery accusation related violence through his poem.
I think over the last few decades, we haven't seen much growth in literature, though there are many people who have come out and proclaimed to be authors. We rarely find their books in libraries, in public libraries, or you hardly see a Papua New Guinean reading a book authored by a Papua New Guinean. The only thing we find in libraries are academic journals or things academic. For those who claim to be independent authors and self-published authors only sell their books online, through Amazon bookstore and all this, and their dreams are still the same as those who came before them to develop PNG literature and to tell our stories through this medium. PNG literature is important in that through literature we tell our own stories. We read about our own people. We read about our experiences, our lived experiences. We read about our dreams and aspirations as a young developing nation. But the inspiration behind the story is when I first heard about this sorcery accusation related violence. This was in 2012. I was in church in Mosby, Holy Rosary Catholic Parish, and our priest came up with a newspaper in his hands, and in the front page was a story of Leniata Kepari Leniata, who was burned alive in Mount Agen. And that was the first time I was exposed to this, and the priest obviously condemned the action.
boy of 5 had just died in my village. Cause of death remains unknown. Word is that I killed him. Word is that I removed his heart from his chest and ate it. Word is that I ate half and placed the other half back. Relatives beg me to escape. But how can I when I have done no such thing? The village mob came and dragged me out of my house. Relatives said, "We warned you." The mob said, "We got the sanguma." I was found guilty of murder until proven innocent. They tortured me, burned me with hot iron rods, like a welder's welding rod coming in contact with metal. My flesh burned, smelled like a pig's flesh when roasted. They cut my fingers off one by one, interrogated me from dusk till dawn. They wanted me to confess. They promised I would live if I confessed. I was found guilty of murder until proven innocent.
That was a practice back then, and now we are seeing this practice becoming prevalent in PNG, especially in the island societies. I once met with Catholic Bishops' Conference General Secretary, Father Jojo, in Vivek, and he said, this is a practice that must be stopped. And he met with me only because he read about that poem, that poem I wrote. And he said, this is a good way to use literature to highlight some of these things. People hear about sorcery, accusation, related violence, but for you to go into their shoes and to tell it in the first person, like you are the one, going through. And when people read it, they read it in the first person. So they can feel that they are fully immersed into that poem, and they can feel whatever the pain the character in that poem is going through, whatever thoughts all this are running through his or her mind, because the character in the poem is female. So this, yes, my aim for writing the poem was to highlight this, put that out there. For me, I was thinking, what was running through the woman's mind while they were torturing her? Because they tortured her from dusk till dawn, in the morning, and she finally gave in. And then after that, they banned her. So, and then, I was thinking this, and some years later, I said, the same thinking and thought was still in my head. So I said, I have to put it into paper and see how it goes, and see how people connect to this, so we can address this as well.
I thought about my children, whom I brought into the world. They are my world. My life revolved around them. Who would look after them if I am gone? I thought about my husband, my pillar, my strength. What would he do without me? Was he capable of looking after our 4 children? I couldn't leave them. What would life be without me? I was found guilty of murder until proven innocent. They forced me to confess. The pain was too much to bear. So I confessed that I killed the boy, only so they would spare me. They didn't keep their word. They tortured me more. This time, even more painfully, they tore me piece by piece, like a lion ripping off the flesh of its prey, piece by piece. I was found guilty of murder until proven innocent.
So I think the inspiration for me to write this poem on proven until innocent, guilty until proven innocent, which is the title of the poem. See why I decided to give the title guilty until innocent proven when it is when the phrase is actually innocent until proven guilty. So in terms of in the case of sorcery accusation related violence, you are guilty When they catch you, when they get a glass man, or nowadays they have prayer warriors who just point out those who are involved in, or those who are practicing this sorcery. So once they get you, you are guilty. And from there on, they have already made up their minds that you are guilty. So they just want, with that guilty conviction on you, they just want to, get something out of you, to confirm their notion that you are guilty, just for you to confirm. So, they get the victim, start torturing and doing all these things until they confess, And these confessions are usually they are coerced under these circumstances where people thinking about their lives, wanting to survive. That yes, I did it, and they believe that if they confess, then they might have some mercy or something like that.